There is shady deals going on in the background, let me tell you. Because I know the racing world, and there is backdoor brown envelopes sometimes, not all the time, but you'll have an FIA clerk of the course or steward preferring a driver. Okay, I mean, if anything, what I just told you, if that doesn't give you like, whoa, are you serious? To give you a moment of pause to think that there is corruption, well, lads, it's written all over motor racing.
Walsh running the Irish green, and look at the move he's making down to the inside.
Moves to the front, what a move from fifth all the way to the lead in lap one.
Walsh takes win number 2.
Peter Walsh.
Lads, today I'd like to just show you some insights into what the racing world is really like. Now, I don't know, people haven't raced, right? Some people who watch me, and that's fine. But I raced for 13 years in karts, all the way up to the Formula 3 level and stuff like this, right? There's a lot of corruption, first of all, we know. And I think a lot of people have caught on to that motor racing can be corrupt. It's highly entertaining. We all love watching it. There is a lot of shady stuff that happens in racing, lads, and I'll tell you right now. Now, today I want to talk about, it's going to be a very quick, short, sweet. I want to talk about the FIA and the corruption. And okay, sorry, I'm going to go back on that a little bit here. Yes, they can be corrupt. You can have a certain steward, clerk of the course, the guys who give out penalties. These guys, a lot of them, they never went to a college to learn how to do this, right? They never went to a college. There is no college. It's about knowing people. And I'll tell you now one or two stories. You'd be like, whoa. So here's the thing, lads. Let me tell you a story from my days. Even my own father got to be a clerk of the course at one stage. Now, two things here. Number one, I was not racing at the time. Okay, so there was no leniency or bias to his son and getting away with things. No, I never raced when my dad was an official steward. Okay, so let's just clear that up right now. But I will tell you this. He was really good at it. He was absolutely brilliant. By the book. There was no leniencies. There was no biased opinions. He saw somebody who did something dirty and bang, he would give him a penalty. Absolutely no problem. Some people say he was ruthless. He wasn't ruthless. He was doing his job. He was, what I saw, he was the greatest steward I've ever seen. And that's not because it's my dad. I just saw like, wow, Dad's really good at this. He's really, really good, right? And again, I didn't benefit from any of this. I never raced when he was a steward. I just observed him, right? And he was very, very fair. Now, that's a small percentage, lads. That's a very, very... The chances of finding someone that good, and I'm really being serious now, he was that good. The chance of finding somebody that good and that just neutral, robotic. You did a penalty, or you did something wrong, you're getting a penalty. Bang! He'd have people screaming in his face, people calling him every name under the sun, right? Because they got all hot and bothered. And he'd just go, nope, done. And he wasn't too harsh. Absolutely not. He just knew, okay, this is exactly the amount. He even wrote the rule book, lads, when he was in karting. And he was an official in karting now. And he even wrote a rule book. He was that good. Now, again, like I said, I didn't favor from it any bit whatsoever. But my point here is that this is what happens in the racing world. I'll even tell you another story. I knew this guy, another steward. I won't mention his name. We all loved him, and he was going to potentially do business with my father. And really nice guy. We all got on together, but there was not a backdoor shady deal now, all right? Nothing like that. But he was going to start working for my father with a different company, but tying into racing, but not the racing level. But he was a scrutineer. Now, a scrutineer, he's the guy or girl at the weekend who's an official, and they'll go around and check the cars to make sure that there's a certain safety standard from the cars. Okay, in other words, the brakes are working on your car, buddy. The steering wheel's not too loose, right? You know, things like this, like general things. So his job, it's an important job. Now the thing is, I remember, when I was racing, this guy, because he knew us, we went into scrutiny one day. Now, when I was in Formula Ford, he was doing the scrutiny for the Formula Ford cars. Okay, so in Formula One, I think pretty much the scrutineers come around to the team garages and then they check the car in the garages, right? Whereas in Formula Ford, you had to actually take your car from your tent or the team garage and actually drive it up to the scrutineering bay, and then there'd be a line of people out for scrutiny, and then you'd go in, they'd close the doors, they'd check the car, and then you either pass or you don't, and you go out the door. Right? And then you go back to your team setup, team garage, tent, whatever. So that's the way it worked for us. So we brought it up one day. We bring it through. He closes the doors. He literally takes out his book. Yeah, grand, ticks the box. And we were like, what in God's name? He just let us through? Now, what can you do? I mean, you know, of course, you could obviously protest and say, hey, look, you know, geez, man, you know, check the car over, you know. Now, I even remember my engineer kind of going, you sure you don't want to check this? You know, like, hints, like, you know, this is not right kind of thing. And he just let it out the door. Out the door. Didn't even check it. So, lads, I tell you, obviously it benefited us, but it wasn't a good thing. It's not a good thing. It's not right. The cars should be tested and checked. You know, safety. And back to the FIA. There can be corruption. It is about people you know. And these guys, they never went to a college. They never went to a school. And they just got in the door because they knew someone. And believe you me, lads, some of these penalties that are happening in Formula One right now, there is shady deals going on in the background, let me tell you. Because I know the racing world, and there is backdoor brown envelopes sometimes, not all the time, but you'll have an FIA clerk of the course or steward preferring a driver. Okay, I mean, if anything, what I just told you, if that doesn't give you like, whoa, are you serious? To give you a moment of pause to think that there is corruption, well, lads, it's written all over motor racing. And it's sad to see. It is. Even guys we would just experience there yesterday in Qatar, Lando Norris, he got a yellow flag. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me explain. He overtook. He didn't slow down on a yellow flag. All right, and he got a 10-second stop-go penalty. Now, was it corrupt? We don't know for a fact. But I tell you this, that was one very, very extreme, very harsh penalty to give a driver. Okay, what he should have done, because Lando Norris, in fairness, lads, and I'll bat for it, even if I don't like a racing driver, I think you'll know if you've seen me before, I will still stand up for them if they're correct, if they've done nothing wrong. All right, and you know, even Hamilton, he's had some moments where he's got into trouble. Hamilton, and I don't even like Hamilton. Okay, the guy actually kind of annoys me. Right? But I'll still stand up for the guy. He's a really, really decent, clean driver. The guy would never put anyone in danger. In fact, to be honest with you, I think Lewis Hamilton is too clean. He's too clean. He doesn't get aggressive enough. You can argue me on that one. That's okay. All right. But anyway, the bottom line is I'm rooting for the guy here. And the thing is, he's had some moves that have been done on him, or he's got in trouble where he's had extreme harsh penalties on him. Lando Norris was just the same yesterday. They could have given him a 10-second penalty. I agree that he should have been penalised, guys. I do agree with that. But not as extreme as a stop-go penalty. Simply because with the stop-go penalty, he had to come into the pit lane, and he's not losing 10 seconds. He lost about 30 seconds, and that's minimum, right? Because you have to come in off the track, you have to slow down, Then you've got to crawl into the pit lane, do the 10 seconds, and then make your way back out onto the track. It should have been a 10-second penalty, not a stop-go 10-second penalty. So I think what a lot of things are going on here is, look, you might have a favorite driver out there, and, you know, all I want to say to you is it can be tough. It can be tough because your favorite driver could get penalized for something very harsh. But sometimes these stewards and officials, they do have bias towards a certain driver, and they'll use it against your favorite driver, let's say, and be very harsh and extreme on them. Or they could be getting a brown envelope. I'll leave it there today, lads.
Walsh running the Irish green, and look at the move he's making down to the inside.
Moves to the front. What a move from fifth all the way to the lead in lap 1.
Walsh takes win number 2.
Peter Walsh.